I reject 9 out of 10 of the resumes I see with freelance listed on the most recent experience. Why? Well, in this video, I'll let you know, and if you are someone that has been freelancing or contracting for years, now you're looking for a full-time job, you probably know it's hard, and in this video, I'll give you tips on how to do that.
Let's get back to work.
Get back to work.
America is back to work.
Thanks for visiting my channel. My name is April and I'm a recruiter, and I've seen a ton of resumes lately that have freelance experience or just in general short tenures on the resume, and I automatically reject those resumes. Well, there's been so many that I think a few of you need tips. Around 2010, a lot of companies came forward offering contract or gig work. The gig economy was born, fueled by Uber, Airbnb, and Fiverr. Well, the employment industry definitely noticed hiring someone on contract is cheaper overall. You don't necessarily have to take out their taxes, so you don't have to pay someone to take those taxes out. You don't have to cover healthcare, and they are not entitled to severance if for any reason they need to be let go from the team. And traditionally, contract work paid more than regular work, but the gig economy kind of erased that and just allowed people to have work on their own schedule. That was the main selling point. Well, contracting has been in the employment world for decades and has been used for highly skilled employees who work on temporary projects for major companies. It used to be that being a contract worker meant that you were so far in your career that people couldn't really even afford to pay you full time. They didn't even have enough work to keep you busy, or you were so specialized in your skill set or field that people could pay you for temporary projects and you could maintain a stable quality of life. But like I said, the gig economy and employment economy has taken advantage of this, and now more than ever I see people with one-year jobs or successive contracts and freelance work. Now, this is the dirty truth, but most recruiters who see a resume that has freelance listed on its most recent position, well, most of them are going to reject your resume automatically. Freelance is a super vague term, and a lot of people put freelance when they mean unemployed. You may be the person who has freelance with Apple or Facebook doing project management, but you are definitely in the minority. It is so common to use freelance as a spacer between jobs that I can time how long someone was unemployed based on how long they said they freelance, sometimes as much as only 2 or 3 months. Just admit that you didn't have a job. You don't need to lie. So let's set the standard for what is considered freelance work. If you are doing free or unpaid work, please don't list that as a full-time job or under freelance on your resume. You can certainly list it under projects or as a part-time job, but if you weren't getting paid, then that is not considered full-time work experience. If you worked for 3 companies for only 3 months in a row, even if those were real contracts, well, to me as a recruiter, it looks like you got hired at 3 companies, and at each one of those companies, you were later let go for some reason. To me, that seems like a performance issue or a personality issue, but I see that as a red flag and typically skip those resumes. If that is you, you've worked for 3 companies for 3 months and each one of them let you go, I suggest picking the strongest company name and keeping that, and just saying you were spending the past few months looking for a job that is a better fit. A poor match can be an excuse one time, but not 3 times. If you are one of the few people that contracted and actually made a full-time living on it, I need a detailed explanation. By now, you should have an LLC so you can track your taxes. Please list the experience under your LLC. If it's your name and LLC, I get it. You made an LLC for your freelance work, but that little bit of effort does make it seem like you more realistically contracted or freelance. So list your LLC and list each client. I do want to know how much time you worked for each client. Yes, it matters. If you only worked for a company for 1 month, well, that's a different experience level than someone you worked with for 1.5 years. Under each one of those clients is your chance to describe the job. I want to hear what tools you are using, if this is tech, the size of the audience for marketing or for any data and analytics. I want to know the size of the volume of data you are working with. Be as descriptive as possible so I can know how difficult that job was compared to the rest of your resume. If there was a period of time during your freelance career that you didn't have a contract and you weren't working, you don't need to fill that space up. For those who are truly freelancers, I trust that they manage their money and are aware that their type of work does involve involve periods of not having work and are able to manage their money to not work for 2 to 3 months between gigs. So if you are a real freelancer or someone trying to be a real freelancer, then keep that in mind. You don't need to make up excuses for a break between work, but you do need to explain how you were able to afford to freelance for months or years at a time. And if you are watching this video, you are one of those people that put down freelance on their resume to make up space for a time that they were unemployed. Please stop doing that. It really doesn't work in your favor. I automatically skip those resumes, so you might as well not put that on there. But if you do have a period of time when you are not working, well, I had a period of time like that too. I had an entire year that I was out of the workforce for health-related reasons, and I put that right on my resume. Out of work for about a year for health-related reasons. And you know what? I got lots of interviews and multiple job offers. But health as a reason for not working is convenient. Sometimes we aren't working because we cannot find a job, and that is okay. You don't need to make up an excuse for having a hard time finding a job. Sometimes the industry sucks, and sometimes you suck as an employee. Instead of making up a fake job with freelancing, you can take that time to talk about what you did to make yourself a better candidate for the job. This is a crazy idea, but you could put job seeker as the quote employer and put any professional activities that you've done to improve yourself. Did you take a course in your profession to increase your skills? Did you take a personality course to increase your communication skills? Maybe you relocated to a city that has more jobs for your industry, or you joined a professional community in your area. Someone doesn't have to pay you for you to technically be doing work, and all of these things are working towards your career. And honestly, that looks a lot better than putting freelance for 6 months and not explaining what that freelance was. And for those people who have been doing gig work for months or a year, you're making a full-time living, it's on something like Fiverr. I do have to say that is a cost of your method of making money, is that Fiverr on your resume, even if you are a top voted Fiverr person, that is only a little bit of a selling point for you on the team. You still have to pass technical challenges, and oftentimes the gigs that you're working on Fiverr don't handle high data loads, or they don't reach a wide audience, and in general they are not as difficult as enterprise projects can be. Kind of like there's a cost associated if you want to Uber for several years instead of working a job that has a career path. There is a cost for doing Fiverr instead of being in a full-time job. People don't see that as a full-time job, they see it as gig work, and you just don't seem like you would be a good candidate for a full-time job. So if you are a seasoned freelancer or someone that has a lot of gig work on their resume, when it comes to the interview process, a lot of people will ask, well, why do you want full-time work now that you've been contracting? Well, the worst response you can give is, I want more job stability and I want to be with a stable company. Well, why does that sound bad? Because everyone wants that. Question with the employer in mind, what do they want from you? They want someone that is excited to join the company and get to work. Someone that can handle full-time hours and stick with a project for a long time. So if on an interview they ask, well, why do you want to go back to full-time work after contracting? A few better answers could include, well, I want to work on a problem longer term and deal with the problems that come up along that time. I want to get exposure to a bigger audience or have a higher level of challenge on the job. If you are going from contracted and gig work from one industry to another, well, there you have a great reason to say that you have been contracting in the past. Well, that past industry, it was more common to contract and it was easier to get contracting gigs. And now not only are you changing industries or jobs because it better suits your natural skill sets or it's a better opportunity, and now full-time work is a better opportunity for you than it was in the past. What an employer is looking for when they consider a candidate: someone that has a good attitude and can get along with their coworkers, fit into the company culture, someone that is qualified for the job, and someone that will stay with the company even when they have other job offers on. And someone that will stay with the company even when they can get multiple job offers at higher paying salaries. So answer those questions with those things in mind. And if you are on the job search right now, you're facing the opportunity of taking a contract role, these are the things that you should weigh before taking a contract role. If you take a contract job for 6 months or more, it's going to be more difficult to get a full-time job after. That is the nature of hiring. That's how the game rolls, and there's nothing much you can do about it. If you are skilled in your profession at mid or senior level, then that shouldn't be too difficult. If you are a new high school or college grad with no work experience, Well, unfortunately, yeah, contracting is going to be a opportunity for you to get in the industry, but you will also still be set up with that same difficulty of trying to get a full-time job after contracting. This does seem like a terrible job market for people that are junior or entry level in the industry, so I do feel for you, but this could be an opportunity for you to get your foot in the door. You'd be surprised by how much more value there is in a year at working as a tech support for some IT company versus a year of working as a front desk person at a law firm. That 1 year with a tech company is a lot more valuable. Even if it wasn't technically a technical role, it's still going to help out your career. If you are considering a contract, I would also say please get the highest salary that you can. It should be 1.5 the rate of your normal pay. So let's say you were making $100,000 an hour before taking a contract. Well, your contract should pay you for $150,000 per hour at an hourly basis. That extra $50,000, which is a third of your salary, is to cover paying for your taxes, any supplies that you may need for the job, and any fees associated with having your own LLC. That extra $50,000 or extra 1/3 of your salary is not paying you so much because you're such a good worker. That is to cover your expenses. So save it to the side and live your normal standard of living on that contract. But if you are on the job search or looking to change your careers, looking to pivot out of freelancing, this is the channel for you. Please subscribe. I have tons of tips on how to improve your resume, how to get higher salary, and what to look forward in the coming economy as things change. Please subscribe to my channel so you can see the newest information about the hiring industry and get a few more tips on your job search. Share this video with anyone you know that's struggling to get a job with their freelance experience, and like this video so other people like you can find it online. Thanks for checking out my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.